layer, mapping out the background mostly. I'm hoping this records a little better. I noticed there's some glitches in earlier's live, and I'm not sure what caused them. But let me see. I need to get my iPad real quick here before we get started. And get this going so I can see you guys. Where is YouTube? Should have set this up before I got home with you, huh? Okay, well, while I'm setting this up, we're painting a short-eared owl in a winter scene. There's a lot of blue in the background for this, but don't worry about it. It will all even out. Let's see here. Me live. The reference photo for this I cannot show you per the copyright. However, you can go to the link in the description of this video. There we are. And I have the link to free reference photos for artists, Facebook group where I got the reference, and the name of the photographer. The way that group works is I can show you the art. I can paint anything I want from that site. However, I cannot show you the original photograph without the photographer's written consent. So I've written down Milan, and I cannot pronounce the last name, I'm sorry, of the photographer. But if you search short-eared owl or that photographer's name at the link in the description, it's all in the description of this video for you. You can go there and nab this reference photo and paint along with me. All right, I'm going to get one of my little detail brushes here. And as I mentioned earlier, I use a range of blues, reds, and yellows, and some neutrals, and I mix everything from there. And it doesn't matter what color, as long as, I'm going to flip this around, as long as you have cools and warms of each one. Now, I think the one I'm using right now is Sepia. I use Winsor & Newton Watercolors, professional grade. And, whoop, need to make sure I stay out of the eye. Anyhow, I will use Winsor & Newton professional grade. I also have some Holbein paints that I use. Now, my goal with these is to share my process with you. I do offer classes on my Patreon channel. I think that's listed in the description also. Now, this is the foundation layer. I'm just making sure that I'm mapping it out by painting in the direction of the feathers and things. So, and I'm just using my favorite brushes are Princeton Aqua Elite at the moment. I change around every once in a while. This is a round 5-0. And I like these because they hold the paint pretty good when you load them up. So I'm not constantly dipping back in the paint most of the time. Sometimes I get to paint kind of fast and have to. Okay, what do I want to do here? This goes down to about the nose. Now I have sketched this on here for y'all's benefit. While I do generally do a basic, very, very basic sketch for my paintings, I do not usually paint. Let me get this eye. Okay, I generally do not paint as much detail as you see here. The sketching is for your benefit. Today, so that you can kind of get an idea where I'm going. Now my paintings take a while. These are not, you're going to sit down in one go and get it done. Let's see here. I have this, I need just a light little, there we go. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting the markings of this bird down, because I want this short-eared owl to be identifiable. Alrighty here. If you're watching this at a later date, send me a comment. Let me know you were around. Okay. Now we have this with, let's see. He has this that goes around the eye and all this in here. He's got a little white hook. We've got the insides. Okay, let me go up a little here. And you notice I'm not doing a continuous line. And the reason for that is because he has thousands and thousands, probably millions of feathers that make this up. So, let's see. He's got a little, there we go. This technically should have gone right there. And there we are. Then we have this line here that is around his face. Okay. Like I said, this line, this foundation layer, I kind of draw in my subject and kind of just map him out, and then I'll come back and let's see. I have this. I want to do this. And then I'll come back and just kind of finish out. I kind of lost track of what I was saying there. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm going to darken this up a little bit because I want to remember that that's darker. And it kind of comes from there, which kind of right in there. Okay, I'll fine tune all that up later. Let's go, let's see. He has a little bit right in here for that side. And this does not have to be exact. The markings themselves need to be in the direction. And if you look up your birds when you paint them, or any wildlife, and check for the details that make the owl identifiable as to the species of owl it is, that's what you want to include. Okay, there's his little beak. We have that coming there. I want to get, there's a lot more brown in there. There we go. All right. Now, I wasn't on too long earlier, about 20 minutes. That's all it took for the background. let's see, a little more there. And then I want a little more there. And remember to keep those strokes in the direction of the feathers, even though we're not painting every feather. Okay. Let's see here. What do I want to do next? Let's go. And if you want to paint this image, and I'll probably not do the whole painting on live, but I'll get what I can of it in for y'all. Okay. Let's do that. Sorry guys, I do get quiet sometimes while I'm painting to focus. Okay, this right in here also has some. Now, not all this is pre-drawn out. I'm just filling this in as I go. The pre-drawing, like I said, was for y'all to kind of get an idea of what this is going to look like. I know that might be kind of hard. Okay, I don't want this too dark in this area. Let's do that. Just remember that that is going to be darker. Let's see here. And there's one right under here from the other side. Okay, so we can see where the tail feathers are going to be. Let's see. We have from there is 1, 2, 3, right up here. Oops, it's a little more than I wanted. Right? Okay. And then there's going to be right here. Don't paint these solid. Feathers are not solid. It'll give you more of a cartoony look. Feathers are made up of millions and millions of little ones. Okay. I'm separating. These are individual feathers under here. So I want to make sure I'm not connecting one line. There we go. Whoops, I should have another row. Pay attention. Let's see. 1, 2. Should be another row. Right down here. And it should. Another little loop right there. Because we have some tail feathers. They kind of just pop in down here. There we go. Now I'm going to be switching from this in a minute. I'm just from the sepia, probably over to burnt sienna for the oranger tones. Okay, we have, there we go. Let's see what we have down here. Now down here, there's not going to be a lot of focus, but I do need to make sure that it follows the pattern somewhat. Because the focus is going to be right here in his chest probably. And while the rest of this is still fairly sharp, it's not quite. I mean, it's just slightly out of focus. And I want to do that to make sure that the eye goes right in here when they look at the painting. Okay. Now, run in here. There is a bunch of little feathers that just kind of cut a little on there. And then I think I want the sepia. Where's the sepia? There we go. All right. Get some of that in here. I want to make sure I leave plenty of white up in here because that's where the light's hitting. Like I said yesterday or this morning, I do use white gouache in my paintings, but it's not to use it specifically to make up for white areas I've painted over. It is to create texture and opacity in areas that I feel would complement the painting well. Now, gouache is the kind I use anyway, is similar to a watercolor. And I dilute it down and use it as a watercolor. Okay, I'm going to mix these together here a little bit. Get a little bit darker color. Make sure I get this line in here. Needs to curve back up in here. Alrighty. You notice I'm not being precise. I am painting in directions of the details, but none of it is like measuring and making sure that it's all in one spot. Now there's going to be some white down here, so I'm going to want a little bit of shadow. We'll do that. I don't have legs on this little guy. He's all furry and covered up. All right, we have the owl outlined. I'm thinking I might go on and do my little guys here. I'm going to get a straight edge that I've chopped up, straight 1/4 inch brush. Medium bright's what they call this one. I'm not a fan of this one, but it's what I have right now. I'm slowly, little by little. I want a little black mixed in here. Now I've pre-mixed this black with just one of my, probably that blue, that's Indonesian, I believe, my Scarlet Lake, and I either used sepia or what is that, burnt sienna, and mixed it. So I'm going to, you notice this brush, I've chopped it up with a pair of scissors because I wanted something with a rough edge for fur and bark and things like that. And it's a cheap, older brush that I used. Let's dilute this a little bit now. And we'll fill in some general. Let's see, where's my painting gonna end? Right in here. Go get some more to make sure. This will be bark. We're just mapping it in right now. Tomorrow I will begin actually layering. If you want to join me, I will probably be painting tomorrow, either morning or 1 o'clock, maybe both, who knows. Okay, what do we have here? We have a little here. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little water to that, let it just kind of flow. Don't want blooming though, so let's be careful with that. And I've got this little guy basically mapped in. Whoops, a little more water up here. There we are. Okay, that'll give me a base layer for him. Let's go over here. Now this one has there we go. Okay, and this was the end of my painting. Okay, I have brush down here. I'm not going to put the brush in yet. Okay, this little guy's going to be a little darker. Like I said, we're just mapping in some color and getting this down. And once I get these finished, it'll be time to stop for a while and let everything dry. There we go. This edge there. Get a little bit more of the dark. Okay. And let's mix this one here, my water. All right. I don't quite always paint like a lot of the other watercolor artists. I've sort of just created my own way of doing it. So you don't want that darker. I need right there. All this is going to dry much lighter. Okay, let's get some water. Let the water do the work there. We have some here and down here. And I'm going to darken this up some more here. Alrighty. This should do us. We have brush that's going in. There's a hill, but I need all this to dry before I do that. I want to work on the background some more before I pop in the branches back there. All that's going to be blurred out. And then up closer here, I'll probably have another 3 or 4 layers on that back at least. we've got it mapped in though. So I will see you. Keep an eye out on my Instagram stories. I'll post, pop in there and let you know what time I'm going to be on. I'll see you then. Bye.